Thank you, Chairman. Thank you for joining our program today. Well, I know you've just been come back from an overseas trip. Is it basically to promote more overseas company to list in Hong Kong?
Yes, I think that's part of the purpose. The other part, of course, is to introduce Hong Kong, as a global financial center, that it's a very good place, to be, to either invest into mainland China or regionally in Asia. If you are a corporation or individual, or if you are in the finance business, it's not a bad place for you to have your business if you have Asian aspirations.
I know that one of the major plan of the exchange is to introduce the HDR program. As that is to use the depository receipts to make it easier for overseas company to list in Hong Kong. When will that happen, and which markets do you think their companies will be more interested to list in Hong Kong?
Well, over the past 18 months, 2 years, in our visits to, particularly to emerging economies, we found that some of the regulations or government policy was actually discouraging companies listing their shares overseas, but that there was far less resistance if they did it by way of depository receipts. So I think with that, we came back, and the listing committee then looked at and did a whole consultation process and decided that it was worthwhile because the expense and the formalities were minimal to actually introduce DRs into Hong Kong, like they have in New York and in London. I believe myself that it's probably too soon to tell where we are likely to attract candidates, but perhaps more in the emerging economies. I don't rule out the more mature companies from the more mature markets, if they want to raise their profile in Asia, to do DRs in Hong Kong. But I think that bearing in mind that there are no restrictions on them, that they could do a dual listing or a secondary listing, that maybe DR might be a bit more easy for them as well.
Well, HKE ex-chief executive Mr. Paul Chow has said he will not renew his contract in 2 years later. Have you started to find a successor for him?
Well, we have set up a search committee comprising of board members, and we are in the process of firstly selecting a headhunter, and then the headhunters obviously once selected will go and look for Paul's successor. It won't be easy. He's done an amazing job. He's very professional, highly respected, not just in Hong Kong, but throughout the world. Paul chairs the working committee of the World Federation of Exchanges, which is a very important job, and we will have a tough time finding a suitable replacement for Paul.
Well, some people criticize the government's role as the single largest shareholder of the exchange. What's your opinion on that issue?
I think it's overplayed. I think it's a great vote of confidence in the Hong Kong exchange that the government holds about 5.9% of our shares. And don't forget, there's another 94-something% outside. Our shareholder profile is very international. And I think from that point of view, I think the government, I would like to think, has made a good investment and hopefully will support us as a shareholder. Government policy for the overall financial market aside.
Finally, can you give any tips to our investors?
Well, I think I've been saying that you should always know your company, know your industry, know your markets, know your own investment objectives. And I think over the next 9 months, 18 months, we will see some volatility in the financial markets globally. So, it's time to be cautious, and look at the other issues that we face, like inflation, like commodity prices, particularly oil, like food prices. So I think it's time to be cautious. And bearing in mind that if you invest for the medium long term, hopefully you would lower the risk profile of your investment and things work out better.
Thank you for joining our program today.
Thank you.